can't believe he came all this way for me. I mean, it's not like I didn't think he cared. I just didn't think Coach had it in him. He always seemed done with life. Done with actually, getting anything done. To come all this way and sneak in here, well, it's something. I mean, I don't really know how to feel, if I'm honest. I thought this was what he wanted me to do. To learn from his mistakes. To make the best of myself. I didn't even have to sell my soul or anything like that. I mean, I read the contract, and all I had to do was just pledge service to the Archdevil Zariel and this noble family. I've done some time here, and I've done that, right? So now I guess it's alright to just move on, isn't it? Maybe I'll lose what I've gained, although it hardly feels that much, to be honest. Yes, I have a bit more strength, but is that really it? Perhaps Royce is right. Perhaps I didn't need any of this. The only problem now is the others have them. I don't really know if I can help them now. I guess maybe Royce was wrong to come for me after all. This is Red Moon role-playing. It is deep beneath the Van Vamper Villa, in the tunnels of its basement, that you find yourself surrounded by strange masked foes, and an individual you are quite familiar with now, Lord Amric Van Vamper. You perhaps were hoping to use disguises to sneak past these individuals, but unfortunately for you, the High Overseer Favius Krieg has just announced that you are intruders. Amric smiles. He clicks his fingers. All the individuals around him arm themselves. Now, Favius, no need to be hasty. Interesting. All right then, let's do this nice and slow. Remove the masks. Who are you all?
I believe we've already met. And Larissa will step forward because she's no longer wearing her mask, having dropped her disguise self spell previously.
Ah! Oh. The Gonsman. Is he here? Which one of you is him?
And I sort of lower my warhammer, showing that, just like when I previously met him, I'm prepared to use it. Shall we see if this time ends differently?
We could, Gonsman, we could, but surely you realize you are surrounded. Here's my proposal. Good work, Favius. All of you are coming with us. Lower your weapons. You won't be harmed yet, I assure you. And don't worry. Gonsman, I'm looking forward to getting my money back. At this, all the cultists ready their weapons, but pause. Fisk and Rhea, they look ready to go, but they are looking to the three of you. Lothar, Royce, you know tactical situations. This isn't the best scenario. They currently have the exit blocked. The question is, could you go for them now? Or will a better opening present itself? Again, also, you have now no idea how many cultists there are outside the doors. There could be more. Will they set the alarms off? The choice is yours. What are you all going to do?
Where do you propose to take us, Amric?
Well, naturally, you are going to go see Mother.
I see. I've never been one for meeting the family. Haven't even bought us dinner yet.
Well, the way I see it, you can come with me now, or... And he then, at this point, motions to one of the cultists, and they nod and run off. Well, that's our reinforcements on the way, so, I mean, if you really intend to fight all of us, good luck. Royce, your tactics set in. You might be outnumbered here. Maybe this isn't the best move just yet.
I step forward and put my hand on the warhammer of Lothar and just say, "Look, guys, let's just hear the man out and see what he has to say." And I take my mask and my hood down. I'm sure at some point the Flaming Fist will realise we're missing. This man knows, he's been watching us for a while, that we are working for the Flaming Fist. And that's why we're here. So let's just hear what him and his mother have to say.
I grunt disappointingly. Again? When will I get to bash his head in?
Lofar, you do feel rage at this, but you start running the numbers in your head. You can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got a few more men than you. And yet, maybe you do notice... None of them have noticed Tobin. Okay, that could be something, couldn't it? Also, maybe a little part of you is curious. After all, the mother... That would be the Duke Falmara, wouldn't it?
That it would be.
You see Amric smiling as he parts the way for you to exit. There we go. Well done, well done. Flaming fist, you say, Royce? Oh no, the flaming fist. He laughs. None of the other cultists laugh.
As the procession goes by, do I know that the shield can do this? Do I know that it can turn suddenly mundane?
You do not?
Oh, so I don't realize that as she walks by with it. But I still stop her and hold out my hand, and I say, "Oh, and perhaps my box. You wouldn't mind me carrying it if we're going on official meetings, would you?"
I think I would mind, yes.
"Give me the box! Yes, my box!"
Favius, be calm. We have them. No need to do anything crazy. Caution, my dear boy, caution. You are all led out, and you notice outside, surrounded by cultists, armed with long swords, faces hidden by masks, and if you don't resist, they begin marching you forwards. No one's trying to take your weapons away from you. You do feel, especially you, Lofar, the odds are close. They may have the advantage now, but maybe they aren't willing to press their advantage just in case. Maybe if all you think you need is a moment, and then maybe you can make a move. But for now, do you let them lead you along?
I'm waiting for that moment, and perhaps it will present itself when we meet with the Duke.
And Larissa, you will notice that I'm skulking behind you like a shadow, trying to not lose you and be close. Fingers twiddling.
Larissa will quietly murmur if any of these cultists or Fabius gets too close. Just I will kill the first man who tries to take this from me. Just to make the very clear point.
And so, for now, you are led forward by these cultists, led further down the dark hallways, unsure of what awaits you. You feel you could still get out of this, but you're going to need to be very careful. You are led further into the complex, going down dark tunnels, chanting and incense still in the air, surrounded by black-robed cultists with golden masks, carrying long swords. They have you quite well surrounded now. Also with you, Favius Krieg, the High Overseer, who seemed to show his true colours at the last moment there and is now with these cultists, and Amric van Famper, the gentleman you met before, feeling very happy and confident with himself, having you surrounded. You begin to go through a set of double doors. Above Larissa, you notice written in Infernal, "That which falls can rise again." And you are led into a large chamber with various columns holding up the ceiling and multiple torches. 2 rows of tall wrought iron candlesticks light this vaulted chamber, each one bearing 9 flickering candles. A 7-foot tall statue of an angel with white glowing eyes and a long sword stands atop a dais to the south, or in front of you as you come in. A 6-foot tall fiend, bristling with spines, stands close to the statue, glaring at you all as you enter with this congregation of cultists, and even in the room as well are 4 or 5 more of these individuals. 9 tapestries hang on the walls depicting the layers of some sort of hellish region. Perhaps the 9 hells, Larissa? Standing in front of the statue, there is an altar, and kneeling at the altar is a woman. The woman stands. She is dressed in the robes and finery of one of the finest patriarchs of Baldur's Gate, and the clothing is well fitted, and yet it still doesn't really look like it fits. because this old woman, in her 60s to 70s perhaps, is rather large, broad-shouldered, ham-fisted, square-jawed. Perhaps, for a moment, you see a resemblance to a certain Mortlock Van Thumper that you met before. As you are led into the room, surrounded, she turns. "What is the meaning of this, Amaric? What is going on?" "Ah, Mother! Remember, I was mentioning some interlopers before, yes, at the Low Lantern? Well, I believe they've come and snuck all the way into our villa to present themselves to you. Isn't that wonderful?" He starts laughing. At the laughter, this woman just sort of says, "Silence!" And he is silent. She steps forward. "Who are you all?"
I'm Royce St. John. I'm here for my friend. I'm here to bring him home. I gesture to Tobin.
"I see. So you are irrelevant. Next, who are you?" Pointing at you, Larissa.
I might ask the same for you because I'm not from the city, but if you must know, my name is Larissa.
And she has my...
Yes, he seems very upset. I have his box.
"Ah, Fabius. I see you are unable to keep your property.
To be fair to him, it's very hard for anyone to keep their property around me.
You have an attitude. But not surprising. You are blessed, after all."
Larissa's skin crawls at that comment, because it very much reminds her of growing up in her village.
"What about you, Paladin of Gond? You work for the High House of Wonders, I assume?"
More importantly, though, I work for the city of Baldur's Gate, and I want to protect this place from the consequences of the power play that you're making contracts and deals with all kinds of, well, unsavory elements, shall we say. So, yes, that's why we're here.
And she gestures to Rhea and Fisk, and Fisk says, "I am merely a concerned citizen, nothing more." And Rhea, "I am Rhea Mantle, born, and we are here to stop whatever you are doing, and find justice for Aturiel. We know that somehow you are involved with the High Overseer." And Fisk kind of goes over and says, like, "That you don't need to say everything, my dear." It's like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care who you are." The older lady tilts her head. There is no trace of amusement on her face. If anything, for any expression of an disdain, you feel you'd have to take a chisel to that face and etch it in, because you don't think it's possible to have any other expression on such a face. "Interesting. You five have come into my home, claiming to serve the city. I am the city, priest of Gond. I am Duke Falmara Van Thumper, soon, in a matter of days, to be the Grand Duke Falmara Van Thumper, and this city will be mine, its protection mine. You claim to serve the city, lay down your weapon and kneel before me, and serve it."
But you are not the Grand Duke. What have you done with him?
"The Grand Duke is not here. Do I need to make that more obvious? In such a time of uncertainty, Gonsman, someone must step forward. You are enjoying the anarchy the city is currently facing, yes?"
Not at all. But you are the one who has caused this, no? You are the one who has taken him from us. This is all part of some grand power play, isn't it not?
She tilts her head. She clenches a fist back and forth, a very large fist. "I do not truly need to explain myself to you. You see, you are all vermin. You do not see the bigger picture. You are going to die. Do you have any families by any chance?"
Not any that I care about. They weren't so different from this lot.
"A pity. You don't need to tell me, but I can assure you that we will find them, and they will all die. Do you understand why?"
Because you're evil? Because you've made a deal with devils? Is it that simple, truly?
"Oh, please." She tilts her head a little. You view the world with such a narrow perspective. That is why you are vermin. No, they're going to die because all who threaten my status must die. When a rat's nest burrows into your home, you do not just destroy a single rat. You must take the poison to the nest and eradicate them utterly. But I will do this for you. She starts moving to the shrine. You are not going to die in vain. Your souls will be given to a greater cause. A cause far more important than any of your pathetic little lives. Amaric, begin the process. Be aware, though, that we will be having words later. For these individuals who have gotten in so well, there has been a lax in security. You will be punished for such things. You, Fabius, as well, for cowering in the corner like a little coward, will also be punished. You will all continue to be punished until you actually improve yourselves and stop being a disappointment. In fact, on that regard, and she turns to you, Larissa, I commend you. You have, in coming in here, proven yourselves at least more competent than my sons and allies.
Larissa will, almost in a kind of almost like jester-like fashion, raise her hand as if waiting to be picked on to answer a question and just look expectantly at this woman.
She looks to you. Yes?
I just have a question, because I'm a little bit confused. About 2 minutes ago, you told me I was blessed, and then I was vermin.
Oh, mixture of metaphors. You are blessed because of your heritage, my dear. But sadly, you are vermin, because rather than seize upon it, you are squandering it, it seems, with these individuals. Am I wrong, or maybe you've actually come here to change your life?
What would it matter either way? You just said you were going to kill us and use our souls to your own benefit.
She finally crinkles that mouth into a slight smile and goes, No, you're right. You are a clever one. I will not try and spar words with you. Quite simply, I have no desire to interact with any of you anymore. I have a city to run. As she turns, and Amric smirking, and all these cultists are sort of getting their weapons ready. This fiend, by the way, this barbed monstrosity. It's not gigantic by any means, it's humanoid in size, but it is covered in these spines, and it's just sort of watching this all with amusement. Definitely a fiend. Lofar, you do not need to use your divine sense for that. This is a devil of some kind. Fabius, what are you doing?
I look at her with... I despise the Duke. She's not very pleasant to be around. She's gonna punish me, she says, but she will let me live, it seems. I'm taking steps away from the company.
Everyone, roll me a perception check.
21.
13.
18.
Larissa, your gaze is held upon this woman. Perhaps what she's saying is slightly distressing. As you said, sounds familiar to what others have told you in your life as you stand before this angel statue. It does seem to be a statue of an angel. You perhaps are distracted. Lofar and Royce, you just sort of, as this is all happening, and you're looking around, and Royce, you're alert and ready, and Lofar, you need just that moment, just a moment. You notice there's another pair of double doors at the far end of this hallway, and they're opening very slowly. You're pretty sure only you and maybe Royce have noticed. What do you do, Lofar?
Well, I ready myself for combat, then I draw my weapon. Alright, well, if we're gonna do this, then come at me, I say, and I lift up my shield and my hammer. Trying to get them to focus on me rather than what's happening from the door.
Royce, you notice this as well. What do you do?
I'm going to... So just kind of again checking the wraps on my hands and kind of cracking my knuckles, preparing for a fight, lean into Tobin and saying, Tobin, what's through there? And I nod to the doors. What is that area?
Tobin looks and goes, Oh, well, that's the... oh, wait. Who? And again, this muttering. Seconds are passing. Larissa, you kind of just hear this lo-fi, and you're a bit probably thinking, this isn't the right moment, is it? And you then just look to him, look to where he's looking, and due to your dark vision, you can of course see a little better. The doors in front of you are opening, and behind them are figures, robed figures, but they are not wearing golden masks. You see the flash of dragon scale. What do you do?
She's just going to shout Altis, because it's the only thing she can think of that everyone would get, and draw that too, and just gesture her head towards the door. And she brings the seemingly ordinary shield up in front of her chest in preparation, as she realises that everyone else is looking around too, and she gathers that this must be their moment.
You see the Duke sort of just look slightly confused as she looks behind her. And then everything happens at once. Please roll initiative, everyone.
13.
21.
23.
16.
The first thing that happens is that the doors to the north burst open, and the surprise round is head by the cultists on the other side. They are now obvious to everyone. You, Lofar, and Royce recognize them. The ones from before. There's about 10 or 15 of them. Several of them armed with crossbows, which fire. Arrows fly through the air. One man taken down to the left of you, Lofar. One man taken down to the right of you, Royce. There's panic and confusion everywhere, as it seems a whole bunch of other people have come into this room and are firing crossbows all over the place, taking people down. Royce, it's your go. What do you do?
I'm gonna run over to the High Overseer and basically just engage him and just try and basically knock him out. So I'm gonna run up to him and just hit him with a flurry of blows as quick as I can. Just trying to... I know he's, from what he's shown, he's a weak man, and I want to try and break him and level the playing field in numbers as quickly as possible.
You dart across towards where Fabius, who had been moving away, was heading. But you are very fast, Royce, and you do catch up with him just about to engage. Roll your attacks.
I rolled an 18, an 11, and a 23 for my attack and 2 flurries of blows.
Do those hit you, Fabius?
It would appear so.
Roll your damage, Royce.
So that is 20 damage.
What happens to you, Fabius?
I was on my... Having stepped back a few steps, I was gonna reach for my mace. But before I have time to heft it properly, I get hit suddenly out of nowhere. You see, blood comes out of my mouth as I cough up a bit disgustingly, and getting hit, and you almost feel the bone break at places. It's like you feel that the hits are really coming home, and I'm completely off balance, but I am wiping my mouth, and you see now that I'm raising my mace.
Indeed. Is that the end of your go, Royce?
Yeah, so I'm going to stay... Basically, I've thrown a combination of punches to the body and face of the High Overseer, and just going to try and keep him engaged with me during the fight.
Yes, you land your blows on the Overseer, and he responds, and he is definitely now engaged with you. Larissa, it is your turn. What do? The situation is, you have a woman in front of you. You have a whole bunch of cultists all over the place, and a whole bunch of more cultists coming in. Things are getting quite chaotic, but you just quickly... Mentally, you were doing a little mental thing as you came in. You were thinking, because you remember listening earlier, when you were in that hallway with the 2 doors. Is the other secret door on the left there? Was that where the tunnel would be, where you came in? Is it in that wall? You think it is? What do?
Larissa is going to use the shield. She's going to expend a charge to do fireball at the Van Thumper woman. And just before she does that, because she can see these other cultists coming in, she's going to just shout Altis's name in the hopes that she is at least distinct enough that he might recognise her from their short meeting and realise that we are not a threat to them as we weren't before. But she kind of shouts that as she runs over and lets this fireball out in the shield, almost thinking to it, you better be able to do what I think you can.
You hold your shield out, and you feel in your mind a little voice say, excellent. And a massive ball of fire comes straight out of your shield directly towards the altar, and for a moment fills everything in front of you with a massive explosion of fire. She was the only person in front of you at the time, after all. Everyone else was around you. Please roll me the damage of your fireball spell.
32 points of fire damage. Larissa's figuring that if she is dead or heavily incapacitated, she can't carry on her little plot to take over the city.
She is engulfed in flames. But you're almost expecting, as any normal person would, to hear the screams of pain and anguish. But instead, the woman in front of you just recoils, clearly wounded, but silent. Instead, it's more a bellow of rage. She briefly sort of steps back, clothes on fire, starts patting herself down, and looks at you. She points a hand towards you, and you feel a sudden engulfment of flame upon yourself. Please make a dexterity saving throw.
So 10 plus 5 is 15.
Unfortunately, you are caught off guard. How is she able to do that? You take 16 fire damage.
16. I'm resistant to fire, so I take half that.
Indeed you do. You feel slightly relieved by that, but again, how is she able to do that? You just hear a bellow, almost a roar coming from this old woman of, no! And with that, what else do you do on your turn? You could do some movement.
She will... This woman's not backing away from her at the moment, is she?
She's taken a few steps back. You did fireball her, but she hasn't completely moved out of the way. Although this is a large chamber where you could move anywhere quite easily at this moment in time.
She wants to move around so that her back is closer to that door that might be the exit out. Because she knows that she might have a way, if everyone reaches that point, of kind of shielding their escape. But she's definitely gonna call out to the other cultists in the hopes that they might aid them here rather than attacking them.
Indeed. You make your way quickly darting towards that wall, and you just reach it and sort of touch it. And you make your call, and you're not entirely sure what effect it has though, because again, battle is on. Favius, you've just been punched in the face several times. This hurts a lot. But you have your mace. What do you do?
You see me stumbling back a few steps, and blood is running down from my nose. I have my mace in my hand, but you can clearly see that this old man is far past his best. And I have a bit of a ragged breath as I say, stay away from me, and I swing with my mace towards this man who has suddenly come to attack me.
Roll your attack.
6.
You raise your mace to strike at this goddamn young fool, and he just catches it quite easily in his hand and sort of pushes you away.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me. So I'm stumbling back once again as he's just throwing me back as if I were trash.
Lothar, it's all happening so quickly, but you feel your warhammer in your hand, and you just turn your head to see Amric, who was right next to you, having a little moment of doubt finally on that stupid face of his. What do you do?
I smile at him, and then I go to bash his head in.
Roll your attack.
That is 21.
Your hammer connects with his face. Roll damage.
20.
And your hammer connects with his face. He stumbles back, screaming in pain, clutching at the ruin of half his face that you have just damaged very badly. He sort of snarls in rage. Damn you, you bloody godsman fool, you!
And I just stare at him and I say, I have been waiting for that for a very, very long time.
He responds. He is discombobulated, but you see Amric sort of reach for a dagger on his person, and he dives towards you, trying his best to throw his knife into your chest. The first one goes in. He stabs his dagger straight, well, not straight into your chest, but sort of just on the side of your armor. And he goes in again to do 2 more rapid stabs, but there's a faltering to his aim, and they don't penetrate your armor. You only take 6 damage.
I grunt and I get ready to hit him again the next chance I get.
Fisk and Rhea also burst into action. They quickly dispatch the 2 individuals who are guarding them. Rhea brings her sword swipe straight through the head of one. His head comes clean off. Fisk, on the other hand, draws that crossbow. Pow! Another one falls. Tobin. Royce, you see out of the corner of your eye, Tobin kind of go, and there's a guy who is sort of coming up behind you, and he just sort of shakes a bit, and he just lays in a punch straight into his chest. This doesn't kill this one, but it does sort of blow him back across the room a little. You are a little surprised. Where did that strength come from?
I make eye contact with Tobin, kind of confused and shocked, almost scared at what I've seen, but I nod to him because, at least for now, he seems to be working with us.
Indeed he does. Fáilbhe van Thumper, sort of staggering, putting herself out. She is terribly burned, Larissa, but she is not down. In a way, you're a little concerned. She's like 70 years old. What on earth is going on? She extends her hand, and from it fires eldritch energies towards you. You held up that shield instinctively. Granted, are you really used to using a shield?
She just kind of, it's almost instinctual of just something covering her face. In her mind, she doesn't really think it's going to do anything to stop the blast, but it might stop it hurting quite as much.
Indeed. And it repels the blast, glancing off. You feel the impact of this infernal energy bounce off it. And she fires again, a second time. Again, you held your shield high, and you are spared for now. However, you see her turn to that creature. Rend her limb from limb! And this devil charges forward towards you, Larissa, raising its claws.
Larissa takes a deep breath and braces herself.
The first strike of its claw glows across your face. You take 6 piercing damage. And then another one slashes at your side. Another 6 damage. Finally, it steps back and raises its barbed tail and sort of swings it in your direction. And as you're about to take this other attack, you suddenly feel a presence next to you, and Rhea dives in front of you, pushing you aside, and she takes the brunt of this tail attack as it kind of spears into her side, and she screams in pain, and she takes some damage.
Larissa doesn't know what's happened for a second. She just feels herself hit the floor and is waiting for that shock of pain before she kind of looks over and sees this catch Rhea instead.
Meanwhile, all these other cultists try and reform, but they are confused. One tries to assist Amric with you, Lothar. One goes for you, Royce. The one for you, Lothar, swings its blade over your head, but you are ready for it. Meanwhile, Royce, you almost look on in humour as another one swings at you, and you just sidestep. These people maybe aren't completely useless, but you feel you have the advantage here. Meanwhile, all the rest try and engage the other cultists coming in. Battle is spreading out everywhere now. People are fighting people, torches are being extinguished. It is the next turn. The dragon cultists come forth, and again, do seem to have a bit of an upper hand here. They are more skilled with dagger and crossbow. It's your turn, Royce. What do? You still have in front of you Favius, who is not in any way a threat to you. One other guy has come to your side, also not much of a threat, but you do turn your head to see that creature on Larissa and Rhea, and they've all gone to a side wall. Is that a hallway connected to where you came in?
I've seen that the High Seer isn't presenting much of a threat, and Rhea take what looks to potentially be fatal damage. I'm going to call out to... We need to get out of here, guys. There's too many cultists. There's dragon cultists. Who knows? We need to get out of here. Tobin, come with us. And I'm going to kind of run towards Rhea and try and drag her in the direction of the hidden door, and gesture to the rest of the crew that that's where I'm going.
So, as you try and move away, directing people, they are heading in your direction. You do, unfortunately, open yourself to a little bit of an attack from both Favius and this cultist. The cultist blade does just cut into your side, and you take 5 damage. Favius.
I swing desperately, and I seem to make contact. I roll 20, not a natural one. And that's 4 damage. Hitting you just over the shoulder as you spin around.
You take those hits, Royce, but then you are away. You are agile enough to disengage, and you are now approaching. You're near Rhea, you are near Larissa. You see this devil creature with these barbs sort of laughing at this carnage being committed. And that's where you are now.
So as I'm kind of trying to pick Rhea up off the ground, I realise that this devil is still a threat, or this fiend, and I'm going to, again, just unleash a flurry of blows to its body. I have an 18, a natural 20, and a 15 to hit.
Those all hit. Roll all your damage, keeping in mind to double that crit hit.
That is 6 plus 12 is 18 damage. And I would also like to use my open hand technique to try and knock the fiend prone. It's a DC 12 dex save, which is a low DC, but let's see what happens.
You unleash your blows upon this creature. It's painful though, Royce, because as you punch into it, you can feel those barbs kind of like, not damaging you badly, but it hurts. You're also not entirely sure, even with your fists. What is this thing? Like, does this sort of thing hurt it? It doesn't seem that hurt by what you're doing, but then you follow up with that knockback move. And as you try and knock it down to the ground, it just laughs, catches your fist in its hand, and throws you back. It says something to you, which you don't think it knows you understand, but you actually do. You try and kill me with mortal fists. I am a devil of Avernus. You are going to die, pathetic mortal.
I just look back at it, and as I hear this voice and understand what it's saying, it's like, we need to get out of here right now, guys. We have to get out of here. I don't know if we can win this fight.
Larissa, it's your turn. Royce is next to you. This devil, again, in front of you. Perhaps a barbed devil. Is that the sort of devil it is? You're in a lot of pain, but you have allies near you, and you're pretty sure at that door. What do you do?
Larissa is kind of holding herself up against the wall because she's pretty injured. Those claw swipes hurt a lot. And so who else has still got to come over and join us?
Lothar is nearby, but engaged with Amric. Fisk is making his way to you. Again, as those other cultists come in, they are intercepting the other cultists and kind of doing their own thing. Falmara is still staggering around on that podium, looking at you with rage, but she's quite far away.
Okay, Larissa's going to prepare an action and basically hold it. She's going to steady herself against that wall, hoping that one of the others will grab it open, or perhaps Vis can when he gets here. Put the shield out in front of her, and she's going to prepare to cast with the shield Wall of Fire right across in front of them, so hopefully it covers their escape, because it emits a fairly decent amount of damage. But she's going to wait until everyone that needs to be over here is over here before she casts it. And she's basically just going to join Royce in shouting for people, for Lothar and for Visk to get over to them.
Favius, it's your turn. You suddenly find yourself no longer in battle, but you look to the left. They're all gathering to go away somewhere, and that tiefling has your box. You know it will be really bad if you do not get that back.
She does. I shout, to the cultist next to me. Get her! Get the tiefling! Get the tiefling! And I run towards her and I raise my mace to go and smash her in to that wall that she is huddling against.
Indeed. You move over, you get there just in time, you raise your mace. It's almost like you're even paying attention to the fact that you are now surrounded by quite a few people. But what do? Roll your attack.
13.
And your mace bounces off her shield, and you kind of almost just stand there, Fabius, for a moment, a little dumbfounded.
Give it to me! Give it to me!
Lothar, you are engaged with Amric, but you can see what's happening. Everyone else is moving, trying to keep central towards that left wall. You see Fiend, a powerful fiend, one of the most biggest threats here, you think, but in front of you is this stupid Amric. But what do? It is your turn.
I have to get rid of him first, otherwise he's just gonna come and stab me in the back. So I move to again smash him with my warhammer.
Roll your attack.
20, dirty.
Roll damage.
That is 15 damage.
You once again smash your warhammer directly into his side and force him off you. He staggers back, coughs up blood. He looks very worried. What do you do next?
And that is the action, right? So I cannot disengage here. I need to...
You can move. He is not going to get an attack of opportunity, for you have knocked him away.
All right. Well, in that case, I shall move. I don't need to kill him. I think I've made my point. And I move off to join my friends.
Indeed, and as you start walking away, you see him clutch at his side, clutch at the half his face. Ruined. Awful lot like his brother. And he drops his dagger and runs to that southern exit. Just running for his life. As all of you gather at that exit, you see Fáilbhe sort of just look at that devil. Look at you, Larissa. And she charges forwards.
Does my wall of fire go up since everyone's over here now?
It does indeed. Fáilbhe roars in fury as she sort of just suddenly charges forward, trying to stop you. In reaction, Larissa, you summon forth from the shield that wall of fire, and feel for the moment that fire energy from the shield dwindle a little. It will need to recharge. But the wall of fire goes up. You hear a roar of anger as it repels her, and once again she's inflamed and just sort of staggers back, screaming. But you can't see much more now that there's flame all around you. The devil winces a little at the flames, but unfortunately, it comes from an infernal plane, and you know fire, well, it shares the same resistances as you do. Fabius, on the other hand, kind of looks confused as this fire goes up. Roll your save, Fabius.
17.
Fabius, you succeed at your saving throw and only take 8 fire damage, but it still hurts very much so.
Yes, as my cloak suddenly catches flame, I spin around, suddenly it's starting to pull it up back to me, getting out of it.
The devil snarls a little, but Lothar, as you charge in, you just have a moment. The devil, can you do something to help?
I can indeed. I turn the unholy. Yes, I can channel divinity. I can call upon Gond to turn the unholy, and in this case, hopefully repel that fiend.
Very well then. You channel your divine energies, suddenly surging them forward towards this fiend. You've been hoping to use this for some time. Finally, you have something that you know will be repelled. And as you do so, you feel a moment of power behind you, and you see this devil look surprised, and then not necessarily flee from you in terror, but it is forced back. It takes a few steps back through those flames, growling in pain, and then it is on the other side of the wall of flames. Royce, it's your turn. You're not sure now what's going on beyond the wall of fire. You can hear the sounds of conflict. You can hear something definitely angry behind that wall, but you, all of you, are currently by the door, You're all alive, safe. It's just you, that door, and Favius still running around, a little bit on fire. What do you do?
At this point, Rhea's in a bad way. Is she struggling, or is she...
Rhea, you helped her up, but then you notice that she's okay. She winces a little at a wound, but then she just goes, I'm fine. Quick, the door, Royce. I'm fine. And she does actually seem fine.
Good. We need to get out of here. It doesn't matter how. We need to use these secret passageways, and I'm gonna push the wall fully open and just kind of lead the way. Grab a torch from the wall.
You push the door open, grabbing a torch from the wall, and you are right. You are back in the original hallway. You can see the ladder straight ahead.
I'm gonna make for the ladder and say, come on, this way. We need to get out of here. We need to warn people about what's happening here.
You begin moving down that hallway. Lofar, you take a breath. You've just channeled your divinity. That devil is away from you now, but what do you do now? There's an exit to your left, fire all around you. What is your next move?
Well, there's only one move, really. I have to get out of here. I move to follow through that door.
And you move through as well. Fisk follows. Rhea follows. Larissa, what do you do?
Well, she can't do anything with the shield now, so I'll use my action to kind of undo the strap from her wrist and strap it to the side of her backpack. And Larissa is going to take one last look at that wall and hopes more than anything that the Duke will still be caught in it for a moment, and hopefully she will receive some more damage that perhaps will take her a while to recover from, and she will limp through the corridor, using the wall to keep herself up, because anyone who looks at her will see that she's bleeding from across kind of the face and the front of her chest quite badly through her armor.
As you are limping away, you suddenly see a break in the flames. It's not possible until you realize she's just belted towards you through the fire. She's practically still on fire, and you just see the Duke bearing down upon you. You will not leave! What do you do as this woman just charges towards you?
Well, now she's got her hands free from this, from the shield, she can cast spells again. So she will go out and cast Burning Hands.
You do not need to roll, because this woman is charging directly towards you. And as you just unleash your bout of fire, bleeding heavily from one side, you see this woman just slow, still moving. You could smell the smell of burning flesh.
Oh, Larissa just screams, "Burn in hell," as she releases this, and I imagine the force of it with her injuries almost knocks Larissa to the floor as she's trying to keep this spell up and concentrate this flame on this woman.
Indeed. And just before a burning hand reaches for you, you hear her mutter, "Yes, I'll see you in hell." And the figure falls, smouldering, burning before you. Favius, you are standing right next to this happening. What do you do?
The tiefling. I must have the box. I have just been able to sort of stomp out the fire, and I go again. I try to strike at the tiefling. Why won't she give it back to me?
Roll your attack.
It's a 9.
Lofar, you were just one of the last ones out. You just sort of turn to see Larissa falling to the ground, her fiery hand just igniting that woman. And then, as that woman falls, you see that goddamn priest just sort of go for Larissa. How do you stop his blow?
I move in and I get in the way.
No, Zariel, help me.
Lofar, Larissa starting to get up. This goddamn fool is right in front of you, and you just feel a voice. End it! Kill him! For justice!
I do not believe that justice is something you get from killing someone. So, no, I will not do that. Unless he attacks me, I will not do anything. I try to help Larissa up and try to get out of there.
Larissa, you are helped up. What do you do?
She'll, grab onto Lothar and the wall to bring herself up. And she will look at the High Overseer and say, "You are not getting that box. I told you I would kill the man that tried to take it from me. Walk away."
Favius, what do you do?
Completely exhausted, I lean against the wall of the tunnel that they're going in. I'm trying to grasp for it now, not able to land a blow. I'm dropping the mace and I'm trying to grasp for it where I know she has it.
Lothar, what do you do?
He's trying to take it from her, and then I push him away.
And you push him away and he falls to the ground, those flames flickering around him. Again, in the distance you could hear battle. Royce, you've made it to the ladder. Fisk is with you, but you do see Rhea kind of pause and just sort of run back towards Royce and Larissa. What do you do?
Larissa can see that the High Overseer is... he's reached a breaking point now. He hasn't even got the strength to lift the mace. So she'll take one last action to kind of try and crush his spirit and hope that he doesn't follow them. And she will use her minor illusion cantrip to create the image of the box as if she's pulling it from beneath her robes. And then she will close her fist and create the image of this box splintering and cracking and breaking in her hands before grabbing onto Lothar to try and steady herself, and hopefully the both of them can limp away.
And the two of you begin moving away as this image, this illusion is cast before Favius. But as you're exiting, and again now everyone is exiting, Fisk is kind of starting to climb the ladder, go, "Come friends, quick, quick!" Rhea goes back to Favius. Favius, what do? You see an image of... This is impossible. The thing cannot be destroyed, can it? And then you just see Rhea above you. What do?
Hellrider. All I ever did, I did it for Turiel.
She looks at you. There is a strange expression on her face. Lothar, as you just sort of look back, you wonder, no, she is so pure. She will hear that voice and be like you, won't she? And she drives her sword down into Favius's neck. And she sort of withdraws the blade, a single tear falling down her cheek, looks to you, Lothar and Larissa, and just... He betrayed everyone. And she sort of grits her teeth and moves to follow you. What's everyone doing? You're moving towards that ladder? Anything happening?
If I can lay on hands while we're moving to try to give back some health to Larissa, I will do so.
Indeed you can, and you heal her as Fisk is leading the way up the ladder. Royce, what are you doing? You are halfway up the ladder perhaps? You've seen all this happening. Tobin then is by your side. What do?
So I'm climbing the ladder. As we were approaching the ladder the whole way, eyes on Tobin to make sure. Still not 100% convinced he's ran and betrayed my fate once before, so just keeping an eye on him. As I get to the top of the ladder then, just kind of waiting at the top, holding the grate open, ready to slam it shut and try and lock it with this torch I'm holding, or at least slow them up, whoever follows us, opening it by jamming the torch between the grate.
Fisk is up, Tobin is up, Royce, you are up, and I'm assuming if you are not stopped, Lothar and Larissa, you will try your best to climb up that ladder.
Yes.
How much do I heal from the lay on hands, by the way?
I use all of the points I have, so that's 20.
And you all clamber up that ladder and find your way back into the stables above the place, the sounds of battle and screaming far behind you. Rhea sort of stumbles a little. She looks resolute, but clearly upset. Fisk sort of just is like, "We have the shield and the box, yes? Yes?
Yes, I've got them.
Excellent! Quickly, he makes his way to open the stable door, and you all stumble outside. Before you, you are greeted by flame and fire. the entire villa is aflame, burning heavily. You, Lofar, just sort of start looking around. You look towards one of those windows, the one that was lit before. You think you can just see someone on the other side, batting against the windows, screaming, and maybe a little creature or two, imps, just trying to get the window open, but they're not able to do so, and then very quickly you see flames engulf that part of the building. What's everyone doing as they stumble out into this inferno of a villa in front of them?
We should go. I think that wall of fire might have gotten a little bit out of control.
You don't say. Yes, let's.
Make our way back to that sewer.
As you're all saying this, you just suddenly, you, Larissa, notice first a few figures just sort of standing nearby. One turns its head to you. One with that mask of all those dragon scales. It sort of looks at you very curiously for a moment. What do you do?
Is it the same person, or is it just somebody in a mask?
That is the exact same person. You think earlier. You don't remember what happened. So much was going on, you don't recall... Wait, was that even the right mask? Maybe there are multiple masks, actually. Yes, you do see one other person wearing a mask as well, but that one's definitely the one you saw before.
She'll stagger forward a bit and say, Altus, we mean you no harm. I apologise if you were caught in that.
It tilts its head, this figure. Caught in? What do you mean? We came to collect what was ours, and we have it once again. Interesting, though. You have indirectly aided us twice. Would you like a boon?
Who are you?
I am Altis, High Priest of Our Lady Tiamat. We serve the Dark Lady, so that one day she will return and cleanse this realm of its imperfections. You have served her. Would you like a boon?
To gain this boon, do we have to... we have served her purely by accident. Does this boon trap us in any way into servitude?
He reaches into his belt and withdraws a strange-looking golden coin. He shrugs. If you wish to serve her further, simply use this and ask. Be wary. If there is doubt, she will destroy you. But take it. And he throws it at you. And then sort of looks towards the flames. You notice now, Royce, you notice this. More of his cultists seem to be emerging from the flames of the building. And they are carrying things. Big bags. Not entirely sure what's in them. There's a bit of silence for a moment. Does anyone say anything?
What have you gotten back? What were you looking for all this carnage?
That which was stolen from Our Lady, and finally it is returned. And he nods, and then all these figures take out little vials. They down the vials quite quickly, and begin disappearing. Larissa? Invisibility potions, that must be it. Suddenly, they're all vanishing, one by one, and then only this Altus remains. He's about to swing his potion, but do you say anything, Larissa?
Larissa just she's caught the coin and she holds it up between her fingers and says, "Thank you." Gives him a long stare before turning back to the rest of them and says, "We have to go."
And this Altus swings from a vial and vanishes. And all of you are here in front of this flaming building. Lofar, your ears detect it coming from the left. This is a fire in the high city. You don't know if you have any time to get away now.
Well, we have that coin. We're with the Flaming Fist. It's official business. We just gotta get out of this building.
The Flaming Fist don't have any jurisdiction here, though, do they?
No, but it might buy us some time at least. It might not get us arrested, at least not immediately. We might be able to get away.
He's right. They've more jurisdiction than us. We need to get out of here and get off the streets as soon as possible.
Yes. Larissa will tuck that coin into one of the pockets in her armour and search around in one of her pouches for that badge and have it in her hand ready.
just as you're searching for it in your hand, the big double gates, which obviously you didn't come through originally, but were at the back of the house as well as the front, come open. 30, 40 armed men and women of the Watch are streaming in, spears raised. Halt! All of you, halt! In the name of Baldur's Gate, halt at once!
Oh, good, you're here. It has been a night. We were invited into the villa as guests. And then terrible things had happened. The basement floor, they were doing some kind of... Well, we've been investigating, you see. The Flaming Fists in the lower city, there was some issues with the Cult of the Dead 3.
As you are saying this dwarf starts to come forwards with grey hairs and very fancy-looking armour. Silence, tiefling! You can answer everything back at the Citadel. You are all under arrest.
Wait,
you are going to be taken...
We're with the Flaming Fist. Look, and she'll show him the badge. She's like, we were brought back here as guests to the villa.
Pauses. He moves forward. Hand me that. Quickly.
She passes it over to him. We were brought back as guests to the villa. We were investigating for the Flaming Fist, some issues down in the lower city to do with a cult. We'd spoken to one of the Van Thampers who said that they had some information. We got invited back here.
The dwarf holds up his hand to stop you speaking, although it's done in a sort of just a hang on kind of way. As this happens, slowly, Watch are moving around you all, their spears raised. Again, Lofar, you can't fight your way out of this. This is the High City, and you recall what your sister said. Short of doing something dramatic, you would have been fine. But then again, well, you don't think you set fire to this villa. There's a moment of silence, as you can just hear the flames flickering, and a final scream or two coming from that mansion. You are here on the jurisdiction of the Flaming Fist? That's where you got this badge?
I mean, yes, but we were invited back here after discovering what we had done. We were guests of,
Silence, tiefling! I don't care about your excuses. If you were lying... He holds up the badge. You will hang far worse than any have. But there's a bit of murmuring with some officers. We are taking you to the Sea Tower. This is all going to be sorted out there. You better hope that your story holds up. You are all in serious trouble.
Of course, look, there is an alley not far from here. We could wait there with a couple of guards, but I'd very much like to be away from these flames. As you can see, I've already suffered some injuries, and so have my friends here. Perhaps you could allow us to wait there? And she's indicating the alley that she knows that sewer drain is in, and hopes that they're just going to send us with like 1 or 2 guards.
She tells the truth. I mean, we were working in the lower city for the Flaming Fist, and Amaric invited us back to his villa. You go in and check. You'll find them in the basement. They attacked us. Look at her. She's got slash marks. They invited us under false pretenses to be some sort of sacrifice in their cult. Check the basement. Through the stables. It's all true.
At this, he raises a hand and men start closing in slowly. I'm giving you 2 options. You come with me immediately, and we go to the Sea Tower now, or we kill you where you stand. Your choice. He starts walking away to the Sea Tower.
Look, can we just have a couple of minutes to tend to the few of us that are wounded? As I said, there's an alley just down there. You can grab some preliminary investigations, and we will wait with guards, happily.
Roll me a persuasion check.
That is... Where is my persuasion? +3, so 18.
You feel a spear just being gently jutted into your side. Lofar, you feel you need to step in here and tell your friends that this is the Watch. They serve the Patriarchs. They're only not killing you right now because of that badge.
I think we had better follow them to the Sea Tower. This is the Watch. They mean business, and some patriarchs have just ended up in a pretty bad situation. We'd better do as they say, all right?
And you start to be escorted. And Royce, as you're just sort of feeling a bit like, shit, can you get out of this? Can you not? Like, maybe, oh, fuck. How much is Zooj going to end up being involved in this? You suddenly see Tobin just sort of look a bit concerned, and he just starts clutching at his chest, and he sort of falls, and you hear some of the guards go, "Up, boy, get up!" And he's looking at you quite concerned. What do you do?
As he falls to kind of and his knee, I'm gonna brush the spear from my side away and rush to kind of catch him as he falls. Tobin, what is it? What's? Were you injured?
No, I'm fine. I just feel a strange. Suddenly, behind Tobin, you just see a strange circular portal open. From this portal seems the illusion of fire and flame, but you can't feel the fire and flame. It's almost as if it's not actually there, but you can see it. You see the guardsmen all look a bit stunned, everyone's looking confused. On the other end of this portal, you see a small little creature with bat-like wings and a little scorpion-like tail. It looks at you, Royce, and then at Tobin and smiles. Tobin! To serve Zariel and the Van Vamper family, contract voided, payment due. It extends its hand. You see Tobin just look in your eyes for a moment, Royce. He's like, Royce, what's going on? Quick, stop, help me!
You stupid boy, you signed that paper. I don't know if I can help you. I'm gonna try and hold him and prevent him from getting brought through this portal.
And you hold him. And as you hold him, you see something coming out of him. And it slips through your hands and goes straight towards this portal, which closes with a snap. And you feel Tobin go limp in your arms.
Basically, I've realised what happened, but only from legend and story, and don't fully understand what this means. But I know that my protege, my friend, is gone. At least gone from here, at the very least. And I just kind of place him on the ground, just my head in my hands, trying to contemplate what I've seen.
He falls gently to the ground, his final expression one of confusion and fear. But yes, he is dead. And as you take this in for a moment, the guards reassemble themselves and push spears in your face, and you all began to be led to the sea tower, leaving the Van Vamper villa aflame.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We were joined by Virginia Page, who is Tabletop Horde on Twitter, and Owen Fáilbhe from the How We Roll podcast. We would like to extend our thanks to our friends at Wizards of the Coast for all their support in getting us the material early and for helping more people discover the show. The music was made by Halgrath, Aegis Sonus, Atrium Carceri and Herbst9 and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more moody, dark ambient. We also used the soundtrack for Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 by Michael Hoenig and to Planescape Torment by Mark Morgan, and permission for this was given by the awesome people at Beamdog. Check out the enhanced editions of those classic games for some of the best D&D adventures ever created. We would like to give a massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober and David, for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with Hjalmar and Craig. Most importantly, this support is indeed what keeps the show going, so please do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.